Hi, I'm Rebecca with Monit's Vocal Studio. Let's check in.
I don't see us side to side. I'm in like a little box at the top and you're kind of in a bigger box below that. Okay, let me fix this real quick here.
I'm gonna be in charge, because I have a mission. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rebecca with Monit's Vocal Studio, and today's interview features Beth Barber, a student of mine that I knew back when I taught at Coeur d'Alene High School. And I remember Beth as being one of the most kind, generous, humble, and talented music students that I've ever worked with. She's a brilliant songwriter, and she's going to talk a little bit about that today. So check it out and enjoy. So Beth, first question I have for you today is, actually it's more like, tell us a little more about Beth today as a musician. What kinds of things are you doing today?
Beth today as a musician, I am leaning a lot more into the music production side of everything, actually. I've always done the songwriting and all of that, and I still do, obviously, but I'm interested in doing kind of playing with some more levels and textures. I've always looking for like new fun instruments to learn and pick up a little bit. Got a little bit of a collection going right now, and so I learned of a couple new ones that I kind of want to get my hands on. Apparently there exists a combination between a ukulele and a guitar called a guitar lele, which I have decided that I want to buy.
That's
and
very
just have
cool.
around, so play with.
So
Yeah.
let's travel back a little bit. So for people that don't know you, because I mean people that know you are going to see this and go, oh, it's Beth. Oh, cool. We know Beth. But traveling
Right,
back
yeah.
in time for people that don't know you, tell us just maybe some of the, like your timeline musically, like where it all began for you.
Yeah, well, long time ago. It started a long time ago. My whole family is very musical. Both of my parents and my older brother and a good portion of my extended family, they're all music majors. So they've all got that kind of history there. So I just kind of grew up with it. And, parents always encouraged us to learn instruments or sing or do whatever we wanted with that. And we kind of just, me and my two brothers, we all like just really jumped into that. Brent, cellist, and so he did all of the orchestra, everything, and my little brother's a percussionist. He plays piano. He did more of like the band kind of situation. And then I sing and I write music, and so I kind of went singer-songwriter direction, and we've all got kind of our own lane. I don't know.
I love it.
But I mean, I just have been writing kind of as long as I can remember. I've got like journals that I used to keep as a small child, and I was writing back then too, not quite as well, but I was honestly like trying to write for the first time when I was first learning how to write and formulate the sentences on the paper. So probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 when I was actually writing sentences. Or I don't know, somewhere in there. I've got journals with like the terrible small child handwriting that with all the words that don't spell what you mean for them to spell.
Right.
Pretty fun to look back through.
I think that's really cool that you saved all of that. And I remember, so I knew you back when you were at Coeur d'Alene High School, and you were a student leader, but I appreciated just kind of looking back, you were like a silent, like, how do I say it? Like you rose up silently and with strength. Like it wasn't like you didn't come in and go, I'm going to be in charge, because I have a mission.
Yeah.
It was more like, I've thought about this before. I told my husband this. I said, there were students at CHS that when they walked in the room, you knew they were there because of the sound that they created. And that could be good and that could be bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes it was great because it was refreshing. Sometimes it was like, And then you had students that you knew they were there and they didn't have to say a word, and you were one of them. And you just had that presence about you. And I know that for students, anyone watching that worked with Beth, you brought I don't know, just I know that kids felt comfortable around you, and it was a safe place to show up and learn, and you were supportive and kind. And even when things were frustrating, you had a way of remaining calm.
Yeah.
And you were a natural student leader, and kids just loved to work with you. I remember anytime we had to do those group songs, and those, they were always wanted to be with Beth because they knew it was going to turn out awesome. We did a lot of those songwriting things, those assignments that were just.
I love those things. Those
are cool.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I still use those kinds of ideas to get my own like creative processes working, like the little challenge to go and genre flip a song or write something stupid in 5 minutes and get it going. So. Right.
I was talking to a student today who's learning how to songwrite, and I mentioned that, I said, so try this. I said, so maybe we'll get 3 hats going, or 3 little, things you can pull ideas out of. And one, first one you pull out chooses the genre. The next one is you have to do like what the song's about, the theme. And then the third one could be like the key, or it could be like major or minor. Those are good places to start. It's fun.
I have not done that specifically, but I kind of love that idea, and I might do that myself. Always looking for like, new things to just kind of get those thoughts rolling.
Yeah, and you were really good at that. So you play how many instruments besides singing?
I play a little bit of a lot of things. I wouldn't say that I'm, wonderful at all of them, but I play guitar and piano and ukulele. I'm picking up mandolin. I play a little bit of bass, and I own a cajon, the little box drum thing that you sit on top. So I've got that, and I've kind of learned a little bit of that. I've got some weird ones. My I don't know. I forget even what it's called sometimes. There's this instrument that I have that I didn't even go out looking for. My grandpa found out that I was kind of collecting instruments, and he just had one of these, a dulcimer. That's what it is.
Oh, nice.
You've heard of a dulcimer?
Yes.
Yes.
My dad made one.
Really? No kidding.
He did. And I don't know where it's at. I think my brother has it.
Yeah.
Where is that thing?
It's pretty neat. It's like this like weird little open face piano almost without the keys. It's just like the strings, and you hit it with the mallets, and it's kind of wild. And I didn't even know what it was before I all of a sudden had one. My grandpa found out that I was collecting instruments, and he just mailed me an extra dulcimer that he had. And so I showed up at my house one day, and it's just like this big box in front of my door, and like my roommate doesn't know what it is, and I don't know what it is, and I don't even know who it's from. I think
that's so great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that one's a tricky one though. It's got like I think it's I don't know, like 52 strings or something like that. So like tuning it is
a monster. Incorporating that, like I imagine, it's like a flavor, like all the layers and textures that you can add. Songwriting makes it really cool.
Yeah.
So your songwriting process, everyone's got a different process. Do you have one specific way that you go about songwriting?
Yeah. Find inspiration in other music, right? So I will, when I'm wanting to write something new, I'll bury myself in a whole bunch of other music and just listen to it all the time, like every second listening to music, because I'll be listening to it, and you find a texture or a chord, or maybe it's a portion of a melody or something that just kind of sparks an idea in your head, and you write it down, or you go home as fast as you can and take that inspiration and wrap your own kind of context around it, and turn it into something that's your own. So I will oftentimes, I kind of do it in 2 parts, where I will have music, like the chords and the rhythms and everything that I'm working with on one side, and kind of building those. And then at the same time, I'm like, listening for words or phrases or whatever, even in my conversations, but especially in music that spark an idea, so that I grab some lyrics and I write those down, and I have a million different journals all over the place that have, partially written songs in them.
Yeah.
And so I'll write it all down. At some point I'll be like, oftentimes I don't do anything with it right away. Like, I'll write it down, or I'll create the chord progression or whatever else, and I kind of leave it there for a minute. And I'll go do other things, and then I come back and I read through all of my lyrics, and I think, oh, this is, this kind of goes along with a feeling or a message that I've been wanting to like convey, or maybe I have more words that I want to add to this, and or maybe I found a chord progression that really matches the feeling of the lyrics I wrote when I wrote them. And it's kind of a weird like pairing together kind of situation, like a mix and match at that point, which is maybe I don't know, I haven't heard of too many people writing that way, but that's what seems to work with me a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I keep track of all of my lyrics always. So I will occasionally like deep dive, and I'll go back and I'll find something that I wrote, 7 years ago that I no longer remember the context that I had in mind. And then
Right.
I take it into something else. So it's kind of a building up of options and then building them all together.
I know that in high school, at least, a lot of the kids, they saw you and thought, that's totally unattainable. Like, she's here, I'm here, she plays all these instruments, she writes songs already, she's already at this level. And the truth is, I mean, I have a student who recently just learned how to match pitch in post 40 and is writing music and is playing guitar. And is he going to go play in Spokane at the Knitting Factory? Does he want to do that? No. But is he writing music, and is it good? Like, I was amazed. So maybe to the person that thinks, if I'm not here, what's the point? What do you think?
There's always time to learn, and you can always grow and discover. I mean, there's a million things to discover, at any given point. It doesn't mean that that you can't get there or get to where you want to be. And I think the whole point is kind of to keep growing and keep building these new skills, if you are new to it, or keep fostering the skills that you have and building on those, and you'll get there. And everybody's timeline for everything is always different. Nobody works at the same pace. Life doesn't happen at the same pace. So, you work on it, and you'll get to where you want to be if you decide that that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I've talked, spoke my last interview that I did. We said that, hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. And there's so much truth to that. I've seen it time and time and time again. I hate to use the word wasted talent, because there are a lot of people who just, they love to sing, they love to play an instrument, and they don't necessarily want to be, because I think in our culture, like, they hear someone who's super talented and they go, you need to be a star, or
Right.
you need to have, you need to have a record deal. And it's like, does that person really want that? Because there's a lot that comes with that. Or do they want to have a balanced life? Would you say that you have a balanced life right now?
I would say that I have a balanced life right now.
Yeah.
Music is a beautiful thing to have in a balanced life for me. It's a great hobby for me to have. It's wonderful to have something like that to kind of throw myself into. And at times, it's just good to have something you can focus on. But I definitely have a balanced life. I spend a lot of time with my friends and family, and I put a lot of effort into my work and all of that. I mean, it's all important. And I don't know, I feel like that was like, way more important to me than going out and, I don't know, I never really wanted to do the rock star thing. So
Gotta make it big. And
Yeah.
people that's, if that's the path they're on, go
Yeah.
for it. But there's,
Yeah.
it's nice that, like I can already, like I've known this about you, that music will always be a part of your life. It's a part of the fabric of your being, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's all about, like, I don't know, it's kind of just about like creating something, and having something to put, I don't know, kind of filter yourself through. You know, everybody needs an outlet, something to help them get their thoughts and feelings organized, or whatever it is that you want to do, or something that you can relate to, and that's what music is for me, and that's why it's always going to be part of my life.
Yes, I think that's awesome, because we have been talking a lot on this little YouTube channel about, you know, there are so many people that are brilliant musicians and we'll never know about it, and that's okay, right? That, you know, it's like, if they're okay with it, I'm okay with it. You know, it's like you can have a very balanced life and still be a brilliant musician. And if you don't have the platform, these huge platforms that people have, does that make you any less valuable? No, not even for a second. And I especially lately, that's why I've been giving these interviews, is I've realized that there are people of all different ages, stages, backgrounds, and all of the things. And really the biggest difference is a record deal, or different location, or different connections, or whatever. And I just love featuring people that have music a part of their life and they're fabulous, and it's not the only thing that they do. It's one of many things that they do. So I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
So how do you bring music into your friendships and family relationships today?
I share my music with the people that I love, and especially, you know, I'll write something that is occasionally, you know, for one person, or
Nice.
I'll write something that I feel like someone that I know or love, like, maybe needs to hear, and that's just kind of the best way that I can, you know, think to deliver that message, you know. And so, you know, I'll share that with them. And my friends, I've got several musical friends as well. So, you know, we'll get together and do some collaboration stuff. I've got a friend that does kind of more of the videography kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
And so I help him with his ideas, and he helps me with my ideas. And, you know, it kind of, we're switching genres there, but it works, you know. It's all creative work. It's all stuff that we can help each other with and provide kind of a backboard for ideas. And then, you know, my family they're all musical as well. So we'll, you know, get together in the holidays, and, you know, we'll do the singing and the playing of the instruments. And especially, you know, everybody has one that they can play, so everybody brings something different, and it's
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just kind of around all the time. Got a couple friends that don't actually play anything, but they're like music connoisseurs, you know. Like,
Right.
they know all, like, every artist that you could possibly think of, and we'll play the game. It's like, if songs playing, and we did this in your class a little bit, of like, name that artist, like, as quick as you can. Who's the first one that can name the artist? And
I love stuff like that. I remember in grad school, I was sharing a big house with, there was a medical student, a foreign exchange student, and an art student. And I was in the dining room, and I walked through, and the one of the people that lived there goes, "Name this tune." It was the classical station. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. So I stood there and I listened. It was probably like 10 minutes later. I went, this sounds like Mendelssohn. And then it was the music geek moment of my life. At the end, you know, the guy on the radio goes, "Featuring Mendelssohn's da 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 da." And the guy looks at my housemate, goes, "Oh, you are a music nerd." I was like, we exist.
Love it.
I love it. I'm excited to share this, because more to come. And I hope you keep songwriting. I know you will. And keep us posted if you end up putting anything more out there on a public forum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Beth. Have a great Monday.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.